Welcome to Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette, with your host, Steve Garrett, lifetime member of the National Corvette Museum, president of the Corvette Club of Kansas City, Missouri, and radio disc jockey at the #1 radio station in Kansas City for over 45 years. Here's Steve Garrett.
Thanks for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette, and the only current podcast dedicated to Corvette. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. I appreciate you tuning in. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit wheelcraft.com and learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or call them at 833-840-5334. You can listen to Corvette Today on all podcast platforms. You can also listen on your smart device. Just say, "Hey Google," or "Alexa, play the podcast called Corvette Today," and you're connected. And be sure to visit the Corvette Today website. It's CorvetteToday.com. You can access everything there, including the Corvette Today merchandise store. You can also join our Corvette Today Facebook group there as well. Also, make sure you sign up for the Corvette Today emails, notifications, and updates at CorvetteToday.ck.page. And be sure to subscribe to our Corvette Today YouTube channel. See all Corvette Today episodes on YouTube as well. And be sure to patronize our flagship sponsors of Corvette Today, MidEngineCorvetteForum.com, the forum that focuses on the new mid-engine C8 Corvette. Meet a lot of fellow Corvette enthusiasts like yourself at MidEngineCorvetteForum.com. Soul Performance Products, developed and manufactured in the United States, the Soul Performance Products exhaust portfolio has been tailored to elevate the experience of the world's most exciting sports cars, including the latest generation of the Corvette. Soul Performance Products at SOULPP.com, the official performance exhaust of Corvette Today. Aerolarri Wheels, a true forged wheel with over 20 unique styles to choose from for your C8 and wide-body versions of the C7, C6, and C5 Corvette. It's an amazing value, starting at only $23.88 for a set of 4 fully forged wheels. And use the promo code CT111 and get $100 off your purchase. Visit Aerolarri.com. UK Corvettes. If you're a Corvette enthusiast, and I know you are since you're listening and watching Corvette Today, then you need to know about UK Corvette. They're based in Atlantic City, where you can find over 100 new and pre-owned vets on the lot and inbound. UK also ships Corvettes all over the country, custom ordered to your specifications. They're staffed with experienced pros who can answer all your questions. So don't compromise. Visit CiocaCorvette.com. That's CIOCCA Corvette.com and find out more. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. E5 Wheels. E5 Wheels is a passionate and dedicated wheel company that serves only Corvette. They make spun-forged wheels for your C8, C7, and C6 Corvette. With the best fitment in the industry, E5 Wheels ensures your wheels complement the aesthetics and functionality while optimizing the performance of your Corvette. Visit e5wheels.com or call them at 305-964-7429. If you're ready to finance your next Corvette, Woodside Credit is the go-to place for enthusiasts. With the lowest monthly payments in America and a process designed to make getting behind the wheel quick and easy, it's no surprise Corvettes are one of the most popular vehicles to finance. Visit woodsidecredit.com to estimate your low monthly payment with a quick quote. And be sure to mention Corvette Today as your referral for a special gift when your loan is funded. And a shout out to Corvette Forum, welcoming Corvette enthusiasts from around the world. All right, my friend, this is the big one. This news and headline show begins season number 6 for Corvette Today. And as always, my friend Keith Cornett from CorvetteBlogger.com is with me. Every other week, Keith and I keep you current and up to date on what's happening with America's sports car. Keith, welcome back to the show. 6 years of Corvette Today, buddy. Wow.
Glad to be here, and that's amazing stat, Steve. And, you know, your numbers of the episodes, they just keep getting up there. First it was 50, then 100, then 150. Now we're like 250-something, aren't we?
Yeah, it's like 260 plus episodes, including the Corvette Today extras that are out there and available on CorvetteToday.com.
That's amazing. Congratulations again. I'm just glad to be part of it.
Thank you, buddy, and thank you for being part of it as well. Couldn't do it without you. Let's start the show, Keith, like we always do. Let's get a production update from the Bowling Green Assembly Plant.
All right, here we go. So it's actually been an interesting couple of weeks at the Corvette assembly plant. They just wrapped up 2 weeks of downtime during the second half of March for what they called project improvements. But following that reopening, we've been watching the number of Corvettes produced, and it's been very, very low. Now, these are reported as publicly finished, so it could be that there's cars that aren't ready to be publicly finished yet or signed off as finished. It could be something going on behind the scenes. Our friend John at the Mid-Engine Corvette Forum is actually reporting that the reason for the slowdown could be a lot of new training that's going on, which we also find interesting as well. Since the plant reopened at the week of March 31st, we've seen just 80 new Stingrays, 58 Z06s, and 33 E-Rays completed. There's definitely something going on there, but it's actually okay with us because the less cars they produce right now are less cars out on dealer lots. We'll talk about inventories coming up here. Our total counts right now, the VIN count stands at 10,763 for Stingrays, 5,192 Z06s, and 1,887 E-Rays for a total of 17,842 Corvettes produced for the 2025 model year.
That sounds good. And to expand on that topic, Corvette inventory fell by 21% over the 2-week shutdown.
Yeah, it's a simple formula with no new Corvettes being built for those last 2 weeks. The cars were pretty much shipped out of the plant, so dealers weren't receiving any new inventory as a replacement. What we were showing about a week before that shutdown was there were around 5,700 new Corvettes available. This is according to the Chevrolet Live Inventory Tracker. Of those 5,700, there was 1,000 that were 2024s that were still remaining. So then after the 2-week pause, that number has now dropped. We have 4,532 Corvettes available, and just 753 of those cars are remaining 2024s. Dealers are definitely moving through their inventories, which is great. Obviously they've been discounting them pretty aggressively. And then we've had that Costco incentive. I've talked to a bunch of people that said they've been able to take advantage of it. That's $2,750 or $3,000. And you can even use that on new Corvettes ordered as long as you just take delivery. That incentive ends before the end of this month, so make sure that you take care of that.
That's really good. We also have some good news about ZR1s. Their orders moved to 3,000 status, and we're looking at production maybe around May, aren't we?
Yeah, that was the rumor. I'm still waiting to see some TPWs, but I feel pretty strongly it's got to happen actually in May is what I'm thinking. We talked to multiple dealers last week. We were actually out at Spring Mountain when this was all going down. Found out that dealers did have their orders go back to 3,000 status, as well as some dealers were able to secure some high wing, like carbon fiber aero, for their customers. We don't really know how many of those were available. They did it backwards accordingly from what we knew before, where before the dealers would just get the number and then work off of that. This time it appears like they were asked how many they wanted, how many they could live with, and then Chevy's tried to accommodate them that way. It's really kind of a crazy order cycle. It lasted over a month to get this done. Just to give you a little bit more backstory on it, dealers got this letter from GM saying this is how it's going to be done, and then it was done completely different from that letter. Not only is communication bad, but a lot of times it's incorrect as well. We realized that was a special thing that they were trying to do, but it just wasn't handled correctly. It kind of leaves a bad taste in people's mouth about trying to order a car and having to jump through all these hoops.
Yeah, definitely. The weird thing was, this is a head scratcher. No allocation for the second month in a row, but we did have a big change in shipping cost, though.
Yeah, that's right. Again, first order cycle was supposed to occur last Thursday with allocations coming. Second month in a row, we didn't get any allocations in March, and now no allocations this time around. Talking to our dealer friends, it's almost unprecedented for them to go 2 months without being able to place any new orders.
Yeah.
The dealers we talked to believe that the production that's going to be happening are existing orders that were accepted previously. We had one dealer that had a Z06 with a high wing that was accepted back in October at 3,000 status. He's been sitting there. He just got his TPW maybe a week ago.
Oh my gosh.
They have these cars in the hopper. Not sure why it's taking them so long to build, other than maybe it was a delay with that carbon fiber aero. But for customers who want to custom order a car, the wait continues. The other little sliver of news we got last week, though, was that Chevy is now raising their delivery freight charges once again for new Corvettes. These are the mandatory fee that is charged for the car to be shipped either to your dealership or to the NCM for R8C deliveries. It was $16.95. Now they're charging $18.95. We believe that this is due to the new shippers that have come on. They're using a consortium this time as opposed to just one shipping company.
Right.
So there could be some additional costs there. We're not sure yet, but I think this is the second increase in the last year and a half. I think the 2024s got raised. They were $9.95, they went to $12.95, and then they're $16.95. Now they're $18.95.
Ugh. Well, if we haven't confused everybody with enough numbers yet, here's another number.
Yeah, here it comes.
Yeah. Chevrolet delivered over 6,700 Corvettes in the first quarter of this year.
Yeah, that number was actually down 20% over the time frame before. In 2024, the first quarter sales were 8,576.
Okay.
That's a huge number. That's a big decrease. In first quarter, we've seen it before where weather plays a role and things like that. The last time we saw sales this low in first quarter was 2021. There were 6,600 Corvettes delivered, but that was because they couldn't make enough of them.
Yeah.
What we're seeing now is obviously there's dealers that have plenty of stock available. There's plenty of discounting available. So it's really set up to be a buyer's market. So if buyers aren't taking advantage of it, kind of shows you that there's some other concerns available. Again, it could be weather. It could be financing costs, financial markets in turmoil. But it also could be, we had the leak of the 2026 interior. So maybe more people are saying, I'm going to wait for the 2026 because I like the new interior.
Yeah.
Again, it could just be something that's going on. We'll have to keep a watch on it. Of course, second quarter results will come out in July. Hopefully by then we'll have all the news about what's 2026, start and end of that stuff. We're watching it. This was not a good sales report at all.
No, we'll keep an eye on it, though, and we'll report back to everybody. Our final story in the news section, Keith, and I'm so excited about this. Acting CEO of the National Corvette Museum, Bryce Burklow, has been named the CEO. We found a CEO named David Hill, but he resigned, and Bryce has now moved from interim CEO to full-time CEO of the National Corvette Museum.
Yeah, this is great news. So what happened was, maybe it was a week ago, over the weekend, we started getting reports. So David Hill was named as the new CEO and president of the NCM, and I think he started the second week of March, maybe the third week of March. So he'd been on the job for a little bit. He comes from a company called MARK, which is MAR-K, and they are a classic trucks restoration parts company. They do like the wood for classic truck beds, think of old Chevy trucks. They also do Ford trucks and all that stuff. Apparently, he closed his business late March abruptly, just came in and told the employees it's done, we're closing it down. And it came out that there's all these customers still out there that had back orders for parts they paid $2,000, $3,000 for, and now they're wondering if they're ever going to get them. Those customers actually started getting very vocal. We started seeing messages left on posts at the NCM's Facebook page. We started getting some emails ourselves from a couple people. So we looked into it a little bit further and found out that the NCM was aware of these allegations as well. It only took a couple of days, but he actually submitted his resignation, and the NCM moved very fast and approved Bryce as their new president, which frankly, he should have been named a year ago. They did this headhunter contract once again to find this guy, and it took almost a year to do so. I can't imagine the money that was spent to hire him and bring him in. In his defense, it kind of went south after he was hired. I'm so glad they moved fast to get rid of him. Bryce is going to do a fantastic job. Bryce has been with the museum for 15 years, came up, I believe, through the delivery program, but knows that museum 100% in and out. We have great faith in the work that he's going to do in the future.
Yeah, Bryce is good people. He is a friend of the show. He is the obvious choice and was my first choice all along. Congratulations, Bryce. We are so excited to have you as president and CEO of the National Corvette Museum. All right, buddy, let's take our first break. When we come back, it's Corvette Racing and Corvette Rumors on the beginning of the 6th season of Corvette Today.
Wheelcraft's PVD chrome finish in bright chrome or black chrome is the buzz of the Corvette community. But now, Wheelcraft is proud to announce they can now do custom finishes for your OEM wheels, including the bronze wheel color option. And you still get the Wheelcraft 5-year warranty on all wheels. Wheelcraft offers factory wheel exchanges for C4 through C8 Corvettes, or they can apply the PVD chrome finish to your current wheels. Buying a new Corvette? Wheelcraft will work with your Chevrolet dealership to get your PVD chrome wheels there on time. You can drive away with your new wheels already installed. Doing an R8C delivery at the National Corvette Museum? Wheelcraft has partnered with the NCM Motorsports Park to do wheel exchanges once your R8C delivery is completed. You'll drive home from the NCM with your new Wheelcraft wheels. Plus, you still get free lifetime access to the Wheelcraft pit crew. So visit wheelcraft.com or call them at 833-639-4231. Arrive in style with Wheelcraft.
The National Corvette Restorer Society is a proud sponsor of Corvette Today. Are you already an NCRS member? If not, you should consider joining, and here's why. The NCRS means community. We're a community of individuals who love the Corvette hobby and enjoy the fellowship that NCRS provides. We have NCRS chapters throughout the U.S. and Canada where members can meet monthly and share in the enjoyment of the Corvette with like-minded people. NCRS means excellence. NCRS trains some of the best and most educated educated judges and informed owners in the car collector world. NCRS means inclusion. Owners of both classic and new Corvettes are welcome. We offer flight and concourse judging for 53 through 07 model years and sportsman awards for Corvettes ranging from 53 through 2025. NCRS means leadership. With over 10,000 members, NCRS researches, writes, publishes, and distributes tech manuals and judging guides for the 53 through 07 Corvettes. No other Corvette organization does this, and they're available for purchase. Members also receive the bi-monthly and award-winning Restore magazine and Driveline magazine throughout the year. We also host an extensive technical discussion board at ncrs.org. Finally, NCRS means value. Many of our prestigious awards can and often do increase the value of the cars that achieve our awards. Whether you own a 53 Corvette or the latest 25 model, the NCRS has a place for you. Check us out at ncrs.org.
Hi, I'm Mark Falter, host of the Retirement Income Hour podcast and Corvette enthusiast. I know when I bought my Z06, I was thinking two things. These cars are fabulous, and wow, are they expensive. Owning a Corvette isn't just about driving fast, it's about living life in the fast lane. But are your finances keeping up? On my podcast, I make wealth management as smooth as your Corvette on the open road. Whether it's planning your retirement, building your investments, or how to get enough income from your retirement to pay for your Corvette vision, I got you covered. Search the Retirement Income Hour podcast wherever you get your podcasts, and let's shift your finances into overdrive. I'll see you on the open road financially and literally.
Investment advisory services offered through Mid-American Wealth Advisory Group, an SEC-registered investment advisory firm.
And now, back to Corvette Today with your host and my husband, Steve Garrett.
Thanks for checking out Corvette Today on podcast and YouTube. It's the only current podcast dedicated to Corvette. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. Wheelcraft carries the latest factory wheel designs for the C8 Stingray, Z06, and E-Ray, and popular wheel designs for the previous generations. Along with bright chrome and black chrome, Wheelcraft now offers bronze and custom colors at half the cost of OEM. Visit wheelcraft.com today or just give them a call, 833-639-4231. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. With me is my partner in crime, Keith Cornett from CorvetteBlogger. We are marking the beginning of season number 6 of Corvette Today with this show. In the second segment, we always cover Corvette racing and Corvette rumors. In the racing department, Keith, it looks like Alex Sims and Jordan Love are added as drivers for Johor Motorsports for the GTWC Asia schedule. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so JMR announced earlier last month that they are switching from the Mercedes AMG platform to the Corvette Z06 GT3Rs. They're going to do 2 cars in the GT World Challenge Asia Series. Think about it. Now we've got the GT America, we've got the GT Series in Europe, and now we're covering Asia. This is just part of that global domination tour with the C8, and of course now with the Z06 GT3R, where they're just spreading out these cars, and now they're getting into multiple series that we've never raced in before. So that's really great news. And then the other part of that strategy is with these teams, we'll have access not only to the whole Pratt Miller Motorsports setup and all the information, the tech support and all that, but they also have access to the drivers. Alexander Sims, a Corvette factory driver, he's going to be partnering up with them. He's driving the number 99 Corvette Z06 with team president Jeffrey Ibrahim. And then Jordan Love is an Australian. He returns to the team for the number 66 Corvette with Prince Abu Bakr Ibrahim. So Love previously raced with JMR in multiple series, including the GT World Challenge Asia, Intercontinental GT Challenge, and the Asian Le Mans Series. And both Sims and Love have driven together for JMR last year's 24 Hours of Spa. They've got a very well-constructed team here. Their rollout of this car was pretty awesome. They did a couple videos they put out there. So now with these factory drivers now joining them, they're going to be a contender in this Asian series. We're excited to see, obviously, Corvettes continue to spread out by utilizing Pratt Miller Motorsports and factory drivers. They should definitely have a leg up on the competition.
That's good news. That's really good news. Let's also talk about the Corvette racing at Long Beach.
Yeah, so we have 2 Corvettes racing over the weekend at the Long Beach Grand Prix. We're recording this before then. It's an exciting race, though. We're pretty fired up. DXDT is the return of Robert Wickens, and he's paired up with Tommy Milner. And then also AWA Racing, the number 13 car with Matt Bell and Ore Fidani. Long Beach is always a fun one to watch. Hopefully we have some really good headlines to come out of it. But regardless, that 100-minute sprint is just one of the best moments of motorsports, I think.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to watch. I love that. That's kind of like at the top of my list for every racing season. It's always fun to watch Long Beach shows.
It is. And, coming off of a 24-hour race at Daytona, 12-hour race at Sebring, it's very digestible.
Yeah.
You can watch it in the afternoon and not feel worn out.
Yeah, exactly. That's well put, buddy. Well put indeed. In the rumors category, this was a big one. GM's UK Advanced Studio Design showcased a new Corvette-inspired concept car. Maybe it's the C9.
I was trying to think back of when the last time we saw a concept car. I want to say it was that Stingray that was used in the Transformers movies, Sideswipe.
You're right.
I couldn't think of anything else. There's obviously cars that have come out in show cars, but as a purely concept car, this one's pretty cool. People are definitely talking about C9. GM will tell us that this was just a design study. It will not be produced, but the photos, man, are really awesome. There's a video they put out as well that showcased some of the advanced design features like active aero and then using airflow through the car as opposed to running over the surfaces. It actually runs through channels in the surface.
Right.
Really good stuff there. Now, like you said, this comes from GM's new UK Advanced Design Studio. They've already got locations in Detroit, Los Angeles, Shanghai, and Seoul. And so this new studio will actually focus on Europe and the European market. They do work for Cadillac too, which is trying to regain some presence there on the continent as well. Good to see this. We were a little skeptical when we first heard of a concept car, but boy, this one I think has a little bit of legs to it in terms of just being able to dream about what might be.
Yeah, it looks really, really good. I love the concept car. That's awesome looking.
Yes, it is.
Our final rumor, Keith, our buddy Ken Lingenfelter over at Lingenfelter Performance Engineering, they're already working on a twin turbo for the Corvette, I think.
Yeah, so they've done some supercharging, and then their recent project was taking the LT2 from the Stingray and E-Ray and then growing that out so it's a 7-liter, 427 cubic inches. In that capacity, it makes 700 horsepower. Now what those engine building geniuses are doing next is now they're going to put twin turbos on that. They're thinking that the package will deliver between 1,100 and 1,300 horsepower total, so maybe ZR1 killer? Maybe too soon to say that, but Lingenfelter really knows their stuff, so I'll be able to see what they come up with. It won't be cheap because just the 7-liter 427 for the LT2, that can run as high as $35,000. So adding the twin screws to it and all the other stuff, it's going to be a monster engine for sure.
It's going to be a monster indeed. Well, buddy, let's take our final break. When we come back, it's the lighter side of Corvette, the fun side, coming up on the beginning of year number 6 for Corvette Today.
Are you ready for a better insurance policy without the Corvette tax? With Agreed Value Protection, the value of your collector vehicle will never change. Plus, you'll save money. Get a quick quote at ncminsurance.com.
Hey, Corvette lovers, this is Brian Sarr from IntelliSense Family Office. You've formerly known us as True Wealth and Company. First off, a huge congratulations to Steve Garrett on celebrating 5 amazing years of Corvette Today. We've been proud sponsors every mile of the way. You know the thrill and drive and the pride of ownership, but here's the big question. Do you have the same confidence in managing your wealth? At IntelliSense Family Office, we specialize in helping high net worth individuals like you protect, grow, and enjoy their wealth. Whether you're a successful entrepreneur, a professional athlete, or someone who's worked hard to achieve your financial goals, we've got you covered with personalized expert advice. We understand the unique challenges you face and the dreams you have for the future. From advanced tax planning to succession planning, we provide comprehensive services tailored to your needs. Our goal? To give you peace of mind so you can focus on what you love. Ready to take your financial management to the next level? Visit IntelliSense.com or reach out to us today at 913-653-8783. Let's drive your financial success together. I'm Brian Sarf, and I look forward to helping you live the dream. Save the wave and see you on the road. Investment advisory services offered through IntelliSense Investment Solutions Incorporated, an SEC registered investment advisor.
When you want to buy a Corvette, or any Chevrolet for that matter, get yours from Hendrick Chevrolet Shawnee Mission, located in Kansas City. Hendrick Chevrolet is the largest Corvette dealership and showroom in the Midwest. With a knowledgeable sales staff and Corvette sales specialists on hand, they'll help you build the Corvette of your dreams, and they ship nationwide. With Corvette certified master mechanics on site and a huge parts department with over 24,000 parts and $2 million in inventory, Hendrick Chevrolet is well equipped to take care of your every need. From sales to service to collision repair, Hendrick Chevrolet has you covered. Visit ChevyUSA.com or call 913-384-1550.
Rev up your ride with the ultimate upgrade. The Radiator Grill Store is your go-to destination for top-notch C8 Corvette Stingray, Z06, and E-Ray accessories. Elevate your style with custom-painted engine bay covers, sleek front splitters, and side skirts that scream sophistication. Keep your C8 protected with premium Radiator Grill screens. Stand out from the crowd at car shows and beyond. Use code CT10 for an exclusive 10% discount off your total purchase at radiatorgrillstore.com. Don't miss out on turning heads. Upgrade your Corvette today.
You're enjoying the only current podcast on Corvettes, Corvette Today.
Thanks again for listening and watching Corvette Today, the show that talks about everything Corvette. Corvette Today is brought to you by Wheelcraft. Wheelcraft now carries all the latest factory wheel designs for the C8 Stingray, Z06, and E-Ray, and popular wheel designs from previous generations. Along with bright chrome and black chrome, Wheelcraft now offers bronze and custom colors at half the cost of OEM. So visit wheelcraft.com or just give them a call, 833-639-4231. I'm your host, Steve Garrett. We are marking the beginning of year number 6 of Corvette Today. My partner in crime, Keith Cornett, is with me. By the way, if you want a deeper dive into any of the stories that we cover, you can always go to CorvetteBlogger.com. In this final segment, we always cover the fun side of Corvette. Keith, our first story, Indianapolis Motor Speedway presented the 2025 Indy 500 Festival cars with a few Corvettes in there.
Yeah, pretty cool stuff. This is always something we look forward to every year, the Indianapolis 500. Obviously, a recovering Hoosier, spending many years in that state. So back in November, we actually learned that the Corvette ZR1 would be the official pace car of the Indianapolis 500 for 2025. And the celebrity driver is going to be Hall of Famer Michael Strahan. The reason for this switch is because Fox Sports is now going to be carrying IndyCar racing, which means they also get the Indy 500 as well. That's how we found out. Usually it's May 1st before we find out what the pace car is or any kind of design. Now, like you said, we have the 2025 festival cars that were shown lined up on the famous speedway, and we counted at least 12 Corvette Stingrays at the front of the pack. This is a unique design, the convertibles in Arctic white with black roofs and nacelles and black wheels with a unique green racing stripe. I haven't seen a green racing stripe before. Doors show off that familiar Indy 500 race details with a green graphic, and then the iconic Indy 500, the wheel and wings logo is displayed on the back quarter panel behind the wheels.
Nice.
These are all Z51s. Each of them had a numbered Indiana license plate as well. The festival cars are actually used by like track personnel and VIPs, along with some of the individual race car drivers who get a tool around town with these cars for the month of May. Also included not only just the 12 Corvettes, but a whole fleet of Silverados as well. Most of those were probably going to be used on the track or doing track duties in the month of May and then beyond that. So once the race is over, these Corvettes are generally sold to local Chevrolet dealers who then sell them as pre-owned, but they come with all the provenance and documentation that shows they were officially used at the 2025 Indy 500 event. A lot of times collectors will be looking for these cars, and it's pretty cool because you get all the documentation that shows what number it was or maybe who drove it. Pretty cool there.
That's really cool. I wouldn't mind having one of those.
And we've seen collections of not just Indy 500s, but Indy 500 pace cars and festival cars. Some people are able to go through the process to recreate their own based on the pictures. We see a lot of people doing custom stripes and things like that to match their pace cars and the festival cars.
Yeah, that's really cool too. Also, this is a head scratcher. Thieves reprogrammed a C8 Corvette and drove it away. How did they reprogram the car?
Yeah, you know, it used to be to keep the Corvette safe, you just lock the doors. But now thieves are using this high-tech weapon that not only unlocks the car, but allows them to start up and drive away. And the way they do it is, most of the time we see this for cars parked outside, they're able to use a tool that reaches out to the owner's key fob, connects it to the car, and once they have that pairing, they can reprogram to another fob, and then they use that fob to unlock the car, get in, and start it up and drive away. I guess the best way to defeat this are what are called Faraday bags. Faraday bag blocks RF signals from escaping or connecting to the key fob, and they're just $10 or $15 on Amazon. So it could just be for people that have to park their cars outdoors. And I'm not thinking like if you don't have a garage, but even if you're traveling, if you're at a hotel or something like that,
right,
get a Faraday bag and keep your fobs in there overnight so that no one can connect to it and then do this reprogramming thing. We see this more and more, and this is where we've been also seeing some dealers being hit. It just seems to be a rash lately of Corvettes being stolen. Seems like a lot more than normal. And this is one of the tools and reasons why people are able to do this reprogramming in just 60 seconds flat. Gone in 60 seconds is not just a movie, it's real life.
Yikes. This is not good. Oh, Faraday bags. Got to get some of those, obviously. This is good news. The National Corvette Museum was nominated by USA Today on their 10 Best Awards.
Yeah, this is for best attractions for car lovers, and this is something they do annually. And not only do they nominate these, but then people can go out and vote for their favorite establishment. You can vote early and often. I think you can vote several times a day. We have the link up on CorvetteBlogger. Of course, you can see it also at the Corvette Museum, or go to USA Today, the digital edition there. I think we kept second last year, so it'd be good to reclaim the top spot again. I think this is like the 6th time that we've been nominated for it, so we definitely want to do a great showing for our beloved NCM Museum.
Absolutely right. Our final story, this is kind of monumental as well. Keith Cornett went to Spring Mountain for the very first E-Ray class and had a blast with Mike Furman.
Yeah, had a blast. Of course, our friend Jeremy Wellborn was there, Ken Berg, Bill Lucan, some great people. So we were the very first E-Ray class. There was 5 of us, and they paired us up with a Stingray class for all the classroom stuff.
Oh.
But we had E-Rays for our cars, and then when anything was E-Ray specific, the Stingray people would go out and do course stuff outside, and then we would be in the classroom for our E-Ray stuff.
Okay.
The stuff that we learned was fantastic, though. Of course, you do all the great exercises like the ABS braking and emergency stopping, going 40 miles an hour, hitting the brakes on wet pavement, and then having to move over a lane or move over to the left or the right to avoid some sort of contact. And, those kind of exercises really set you up for all the track events that you do. On the track, E-Ray is fantastic. One of the things is we ran the 1.5 mile track. We ran in the Charge Plus setting always on. It robs a little bit of horsepower, but on a littler track like that, you get all the benefits of having a charged battery and the way the E-Ray just pulls you out of the corners and gets you going. It's amazing. And the stability of the car is also amazing. One of my very favorite events was the wet figure 8.
Oh, yeah.
You turn off everything, and then we basically were just skidding around, doing this figure 8 pattern on wet pavement. But with the all-wheel drive, I was channeling Cody Buckley with having that wheel turned one way, the car's going another way, but yet it's going the way that I want it to because of the all-wheel drive.
Yeah.
But then they do the fun thing, or they do the non-fun thing. They put it into weather mode, and you can't spin that car out for nothing. The stability controls weather mode, and they said actually they call it the no fun mode. They said if you got like a teen driver or something like that, just put it into weather mode, and it'll keep them out of trouble and keeps the car as stable as possible.
That's cool.
Well, then one of the other things that we did was obviously the autocross. I was very excited about that. I actually won my class there. Mike Furman does not participate. He might have been faster because he's just been doing this quite a bit. But I was able to take down Jeremy, which felt pretty good because Jeremy and Mike on the track, on the big tracks, those guys are fast. And Mike Furman's very fast. He said his best time was 120 around the north track was where we were on.
Wow.
Meanwhile, I think Jeremy's was 121. My best time, I think, was like 132 or something like that. I was pretty slow, but having only done it a few times, I was just working at my level and not those guys that had been half a dozen times. Mike, I think, was there 45 times now.
Wow.
He's got great experience. But the autocross is where the E-Ray really shined as well. Understanding the assignment, you floor it, you use the gas to get you out of corners as opposed to the brakes just because that all-wheel drive again. Mm-hmm. I think my time was 28.3 something. That actually beat the record for the Stingray time. So the E-Ray obviously was faster than that. I don't know what the record for the Z06 time was, but I'd like to find that out as well.
Yeah.
All in all, the E-Ray is a great car. While we were there, they just got another shipment. I think 4 or 5 more cars just came in.
Wow.
So expect to see the E-Ray classes growing. And if you're an E-Ray owner, you've got to get out there and do Spring Mountain, not only just for the classes, but the whole atmosphere, the clubhouse. They've got all these amenities coming online. They've got these little mini houses being set up out there. They've got a go-kart track. They've got a lake. So much stuff to do out there. And when we were out there, the temperatures were like only in the 60s. It was very mild and just an enjoyable week to spend out there at Spring Mountain. So highly recommend it.
Fantastic, buddy. Congratulations. That's awesome. Well, Keith, thanks for being back on Corvette Today. Year number 6. Here we come, buddy.
Absolutely. And if we see you out on the streets, keep waving. And congratulations again, Steve. Well done.
Thanks again for listening and watching Corvette Today. And be sure to tell your family, friends, and other Corvette enthusiasts about the Corvette Today show. And thanks to our sponsors, Wheelcraft. Want to dress up your Corvette with bright chrome or black chrome wheels? Visit wheelcraft.com to learn about their advanced PVD chrome finishing. They can refinish your wheels or offer a wheel exchange for most models, and it comes with a 5-year warranty. Visit wheelcraft.com today or call 833 833-639-4231. Soul Performance Products at SOULPP.com, the official performance exhaust of Corvette Today. UK Corvette at CIOCCACorvette.com. E5 Wheels at E5Wheels.com. IntelliSense at IntelliSense.com. Also, Aerolarri Wheels. Get $100 off your purchase with the promo code CT111 at Aerolarri.com. Mark Falter with the Retirement Income Hour podcast. And Hendrick Chevrolet in Kansas City at ChevyUSA.com.
Thanks for checking out Corvette Today on podcast and YouTube. If you'd like to contact Steve with ideas for Corvette Today, you can email him at stevegarrettdj@gmail.com. Garrett has 2 R's and 2 T's. That's stevegarrettdj@gmail.com. Also, sign up for email notifications at corvettetoday.ck.page. Follow Steve and the show on social media on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and Threads at Steve Garrett DJ. Thanks again for listening and watching Corvette Today.